The mind is its own place, and in itself can create a heaven of hell, or a hell of heaven.
Hello there my RPG lovers and welcome to another video. Fallen Angel is a pixel art hack and slash RPG. I had the opportunity to play the early build of this game, which is great since it makes this preview more complete, I guess. When it comes to this type of games, it's always interesting to see the creativity and talent of pixel artists. The presentation of the setting in the game is probably really hard to do well in such limited 2D environment. Fallen Angel features a great art style in my opinion, which makes it really easy to play along with the setting and the narrative that this game is trying to push. The pixel art style is inspired by recent top-down action games like Hyper Light Drifter and Wizards of Legend. This game will go live on Kickstarter on October 8th, basically just a few hours after this video gets uploaded. As for the story, you will take the role of the most infamous character in the history of mankind, Lucifer. The universe lies in ruin after the catastrophic war in heaven. God has departed, leaving his creations to fend for themselves in a universe without fate. One of the reasons why I always find this concept interesting is the bosses. Or more specifically, I love seeing archangels as bosses and how creative the developers are with this design. What you're seeing now are some concept arts, but there is actually one boss fight in the demo versus Abdiel, who is supposed to be one of the most loyal angels in God's service. They are loyal to God, but each have a different interpretation of his message. Fallen Angel basically reimagines the biblical lore of Genesis from the perspective of Lucifer. That should be all you need to know about the setting and the story. It's pretty straightforward, but like I said before, I believe there is enough room for being creative here. The gameplay is fast-paced, but you always feel like you have absolute control of your character, which means the controls are really snappy. Honestly, the last thing I would like to experience in a game like this is unresponsive controls, so this is worth mentioning. The combat feels smooth, and even though this demo lacked some features like the skill tree for example, it was still more than enough to keep me interested. It definitely encourages an aggressive approach. As for the moves, you have a regular melee attack, charged melee attack, dash, which also acts as a parry if timed correctly, regular and charged range attack, jumping and gliding, which can also be combined with attacks as well. Melee attacks and dashes uses energy, while ranged attack require ammo that you can find on your enemies or in breakable objects. You're going to dash and glide a lot, at least I played like this and it felt really good actually. I mentioned that dashing at the right time triggers the parry mechanic, which will usually instantly kill weaker enemies. However, stronger enemies will get stunned and you have the option to perform an execute move. When you successfully combine your attacks without getting hit, you can practically breeze through the area, which feels awesome of course, but it's easier said than done. Because if you're not careful, you can die in a few hits, especially when you start missing your dash parry mechanic. The demo was not insanely hard, especially when I got comfortable with the controls, but this doesn't mean the game is not challenging. Every time I died felt like it was my fault, and like I said, if you lose focus and start missing your hits and dashes, you can easily hit the ground. I think that difficulty is always a big challenge to do properly in these type of games, but luckily these developers seem like they know what they're doing. One more important gameplay mechanic that I didn't mention is this pentagon meter. Every time you successfully land a hit or you get hit, this meter will go up, and once it's filled, you can turn into a powerful demon. This form gives you more abilities like this charging attack, but you're also much faster and stronger. It doesn't last for long though, but I'm guessing the skill tree will affect a lot of these mechanics and the demon form as well, but that's yet to be seen. The final version of the game will feature things like 2-player local co-op, skill points that you can find by exploring and defeating powerful enemies, skill tree that we mentioned before, fully voiced archangels and NPCs, items that augments your abilities, hidden areas, etc. The demo ends with a big tease for another boss, and I really wanted to fight this dude, but nope. The first and only boss that I fought was Abdiel, and I honestly thought that's going to be the end of the demo. And yes, there are some problems with the demo, which is to be expected. I got stuck a few times on some objects by dashing through them, hit some invisible walls while gliding, and walking on stairs feels a bit stiff, but I expect all of this to be fixed with some polishing. The core gameplay is really enjoyable, which matters the most. The Kickstarter campaign for Fallen Angel will launch on October 8th, which is actually only a few hours after this video goes live. I'll leave all the links in the description if you would like to support the game, and also their Discord page. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. My channel is based around RPGs in general. I do various discussions, in-depth guides, previews and reviews. Special thanks to my patrons and YouTube exclusive members, and if you as well want to become one of them, all the links are in the description. I'll see ya! in the next one.